Hey,
One of the questions that I get every so often is, John, what are you reading? And I'm going to encourage you guys to read, read, read. It is maybe one of the most important things you can do for personal growth, emotional growth, spiritual growth, and business growth. So I'm packing, getting ready to move to Palm Harbor, Florida, and I'm going through a lot of boxes with books in them. And I just pulled out a few. Give you a visual. Here's my few. So I'm going to go through this list with you quickly, and then I'm going to share what I have for you today. All right. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Great book. Get this book. Read that book. Who Moved My Cheese? Really important right now. The One Thing, probably the best book ever written by Gary Keller. Read that book. In a Pit with a Lion on a Snowy Day. Read that book. Sticky Church. If you are building a group, if you're building an organization, if you're building a business and you want to build a business that nobody ever wants to leave, read Sticky Church. The Culture Code. Fabulous book. Success Principles by Jack Canfield. Holy cow. This thick book, which is not normal for me, filled with golden nuggets. Over the Top by Zig Ziglar. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. The 21 Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. 12-Week Year. The 10X Rule. All right, I've only got a couple more to go. I'm not going to give every one of them to you. And Sam Walton, Building America. Now, I'm going to share 2 more with you, and then I'm going to share some thoughts that I got from the last book I'm going to show you. The Simple Truths of Service. See this itty bitty book? You'll read it in an hour. Now, it's inspired by Johnny the Bagger. Oh my gosh, what an amazing story. You've got to get this book. You've got to read this book. And you need more Johnny the Baggers in your life. If you're a business person, hey, you're making noise. If you're a business person, you need Johnny the Baggers in your life. I promise you. Read the book. You'll know what I mean. All right. Intentional Living by John Maxwell. Now, I love this book so much that I bought it twice. I actually didn't buy it twice. I bought it once, and I never read it. It sat on my bookshelf until I went to a mastermind in South Florida, and a good friend of mine, Dick Dillingham, who I had breakfast with that morning, and it was an intentional breakfast. I asked him if he would meet with me because he was a leader that I look up to, still do, and I wanted to learn from him, which is something you should all do whenever you go to an event. Pick out 4 or 5 people that you want to meet with, have a list of questions that you're ready to ask them, and use the opportunity to learn and grow. So later on, he's on stage and he's sharing his message for the day, and he holds up this book. And he starts sharing from this book. And I'm like, wow, that's exactly what we talked about this morning at breakfast. And at the end of his speech, he walked over to me and handed me this book. Now I read it. And I am going to share with you just a few things that I got from pages 59 through 60 something. All right. Start small, but believe big. Please write that down. Start small and believe big. There's 4 major points to this. Number 1, start where you are. Parker Palmer, a philosopher and author, wrote, "One real freedom comes from being aware that we do not have to save the world. We must merely make a difference in the place we live." Value people. Work hard. Stay emotionally strong. Solve problems. Work well with others and lead by example. Oh, that last one is so important to me. You know, we live in a world of positional leadership. Somebody is given a job and they are announced as a leader. And then people in the organization are expected to follow that person. However, after a period of time, you realize this person doesn't lead by example. Is that someone you want to follow? And the answer is no, of course not. Now, I'm sharing that with you because I want you to hear it for you. If you want people to follow you, lead by example. All right, the second point. Start with your one thing. Excellence comes from consistency and using our strengths. Write that down. Identify what your strengths are. Trust me, I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at. And I am going to focus on the things that I am good at. If I made a list of 10 things that I do on a daily basis and I scaled them 1 to 10 on these are my strengths, a 10 is I've got that. A 1 is I really suck at that. Now, you identify something as a 5 and you identify something else as a 9. Where should you spend your time? On the 9. If you look at it and say, I need to spend more time on the 5 in order to raise the score, you put all of your effort into that. At best, you're going to raise it to a 7. That's still not mastery. However, that thing you do that you're a 9 at, you can raise it to a 10. And that one thing can be the key to success for you in your life. Excellence comes from consistency in using our strengths. Henry David Thoreau wrote, "One is not born into the world to do everything." You are not born into the world to do everything, but to do something. What is that something? Viktor Frankl was right when he said, when we are no longer able to change a situation. Boy, that one resonates with me right now. When you are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. I do not deny my current reality. I deny its finality. This too shall pass. There is always a starting line. You just need to find it. It's about beginning with what you have, not with what you don't have. Now, it's human nature to focus on what we don't have. And the law of attraction says that whatever you focus on, you attract. And if you focus on the things you don't have, guess what you're going to get? More of the things you don't have. If you focus on lack, you're going to get more lack. If you focus on your inability to get more listing appointments, you're going to get fewer listing appointments. It's about beginning with what you have, not with what you don't have. Find your one thing and start developing it. All right, point number 3. Start watching your words. Oh boy, words are powerful. Words are either going to hold you back or they're going to propel you forward. Solomon, who's considered to be the wisest man that ever lived, said, words kill and words give life. They're either poison or they are fruit. You get to choose. Are you using poisonous words or are you planting seeds that grow into a harvest of great fruit? We all have a running dialogue in our heads. What we say to ourselves either encourages us or discourages us. The most important person who's talking to you every day is you. What are you saying? I've got 3 words I want you to write down when you're having a negative thought. Here they go. Stop, erase, replace. I literally want you to do this. You're sitting at your desk, you're working, and you have a negative thought. When you realize you're having a negative thought, which, by the way, I'll tell you how to know when you're having negative thoughts in just 1 second. When you realize you're having a negative thought, I literally want you to say out loud, stop, erase, replace. Now, let's say you're having a negative thought on abundance, on financial stability. You're focusing on how am I going to pay my bills, or you're focusing on I don't have enough money. Remember what I said earlier. We attract what we focus on. I want you to literally stop and say, stop, erase, replace. Now, here's how you're going to replace that negative thought. I am an opportunity magnet. Opportunity and money freely flow in my direction. Now, if you need to say it 10 times for your brain to get it, then say it 10 times. It also matters how you say it. For example, if I were to look in the mirror and say, I'm an opportunity magnet, opportunity and money freely flow in my direction. It ain't happening. I am an opportunity magnet. Opportunity and money freely flow in my direction. I am an opportunity magnet. Opportunity and money freely flow in my direction. Try that 10 times. The words we need to embrace are positive. Words such as, write this down. The words we need to embrace are positive words. Examples, we can. It's not we can. It's we, period. Can, will, and yes. What do we need to eliminate? Me, can't, won't, and no. Bunny trail. For those of you who have kids, do you know how many times a child has heard the word no by the time they're 7 years old? It's in the thousands, guys. It's in the thousands. For those of you with young children, think about that. How are you programming your kids? Now, for those of you who are saying, well, John, how do I keep them from doing something that's going to harm them? Good question. Rewrite what you're saying in a yes sentence and use that. You know, if your child is taking dishes out of the dishwasher and you say, be careful not to break the dishes, what is the mental picture that you get in your mind? Breaking dishes. What is the mental picture that you're placing in your child's mind? Breaking dishes. How about, I love how carefully you are taking those dishes out of the dishwasher and putting them away. All right. One of the things that I do every day is every day, no. I'd like to say I do this every day, but that wouldn't be true, is I journal. And it's a habit that I started 20 years ago, a habit that I still have today. And one of the things this does is if you stop once a month and you scan your journal for the words that you've used over and over again, find those words, write them down, then ask, are the words I use moving me towards being the person I choose to be, or are they words that I would love my family to use? All right, point number 4. 1 second, guys. Okay. Point number 4, when Mother Teresa, start by making small changes. Okay, sorry. When Mother Teresa wanted to start her work in Calcutta, she was asked what she must do to consider the work successful. I do not know what success will be, she replied. But if the missionaries of charity have brought joy to 1/2 happy to one unhappy home. May one innocent child from the street keep pure. One dying person die in peace with God. Don't you think it would be worthwhile offering everything for just that one? Trying to make a huge change overnight often creates fear. Oh, I know that too. For example, you've heard me say many, many times when I describe what is work. Work is 20 conversations, not 19, not 18, not 17, because if you have 17 conversations, you didn't have the 18th conversation, which could have been $1 million listing that you didn't get because you didn't have the conversation. And for those of you who are having 2 or 3 real estate conversations a day, you're thinking, okay, I'm in, I'm going to go to 20. You won't. Here's why. Trying to make a huge change overnight often creates fear, uncertainty, and resistance because the change appears unachievable. The idea of making small changes is less threatening and helps us overcome our hesitation and procrastination. Success is gained in inches at a time, not miles. What can we improve by some small percentage? Can you find a way to organize your desk to be more efficient? Can you slightly rearrange your calendar to get more out of your day? Can you read a book to broaden your thinking ever so slightly? Any small change that makes you better is worth making because many small changes add up to major improvements over time. All right. Raise your hands, take yourself off mute, talk to me.